Peace and blessings, community. If you have not already, I'm going to get all the formalities out of the way. If you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and push the notification bell so you can be updated each and every time I upload a brand new video. I wanted to come on here really quickly because I decided that I'm going to share a training that I just did. This past Sunday, I just held a 2-hour training with a group of women. Some were entrepreneurs who have already started their business in 2023 and in years before, and others are brand new entrepreneurs. Some of them were Yoni business owners, and some of them are just general entrepreneurs. But the point of the whole training was a reboot your business so that you can take it to the next level in 2024. I decided I'm going to come on here and share with my YouTube family, or a portion of it with my YouTube family, because I feel like this is a training that could be really beneficial for all the ladies who are in my community who are trying to take their business to the next level, who are starting businesses, who are interested in trying to take their whatever size business it is right now to 6 figures and beyond. This training is for you. I'll go over a lot of my top tips that I have used and some things that people don't really talk about, like in other trainings and throughout the industry of like business coaching and things like that. There's a lot of things that are not talked about and people make you pay for in order for you to be able to gain the access to the knowledge. So I decided I'm going to come and share it. It's only a portion, as I said. If you are interested in getting the full video, you're going to have to click the link down below. It's going to take you to the Womniverse, which is Yoni Herbals online learning platform for women. That's all about life mastery. It's going to take you there and you will be able to see the entire video from the website, just so that it's not too long here on YouTube. And then also what I want to say is I am going to be holding a live in-person as well as webinar training in February, either the first Sunday or the second Sunday in February in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're in Atlanta, make sure you shout out in the comments and say, yeah, hey girl, I'm here. I want to be in. And in February, we're going to be focusing on all of the things that you need to know in order to be able to really push your marketing to the next level in order to build your business. As you know, right now we are in the winter solstice, and this is the absolute perfect time to do all of the groundwork that is going to take your business to the next level. Like especially if you're just starting out, this is a time you want to be doing all the planning. This is the time you want to be, besides planning for your business, planning for your personal development, like doing self-development. This is the time you want to be taking online courses. This is the time you want to be gathering with other women who are like-minded to, see how y'all might be able to bounce ideas off of each other and really help each other to build. And so, speaking of build, so I do have one real quick announcement. I have recently started the Birthworker Mastermind, and there are a ton of benefits that come along with it. I am going to put them on the screen right before I go into the video, but I'm going to connect that so that you will be able to see all of the benefits with the Birthworker Mastermind. If you are a doula, if you're a sleep consultant, if you're a midwife, if you're anything that's helping women in the birthing realm, this Birthworker Mastermind is for you. It's 100% free, but it is giving you access to myself and a bunch of other women who are earning 6 and 7 figures in their business, and then we just feel like it's time to give back to the community. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. And if you have any questions or want to leave any comments, please don't hesitate to drop them down in the comment box down below. Also, like I said, you will be able to find the full entire video down at the link down below in the description box. All right, love y'all. Peace. Until next time. This is the map. First of all, I want to welcome you and thank you for taking this time out to join me. As I said, get your notebooks out, get your paper ready. And if you have any questions for me, I left a whole half an hour at the end just for me to be able to answer your questions that you may have about like building your business, moving it forward, and pick my brain about whatever you may have. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of tips in here that I have used, but at any point, I want you to take them and to try to see how you may be able to switch them around to utilize inside of your own business and make them your own, obviously. So this is pretty much my blueprint for how I have built my 6-figure Yoni steaming business. And in here, I'm going to show you my top 6 tips that I feel like every business owner should pay a lot of attention to, beyond the regular, like, oh, have a business plan, or, product and service, pricing. I mean, those are general things, but I want to like take a deep step in to and deep view into what I use to allow me to catapult my business forward a lot of times that I don't think a lot of people pay attention to or really tell people about. So they're kind of like the inner workings, I feel, of every successful business owner. And then if you have any questions, of course, you can ask them in relation to the topic or, in otherwise. So let's just get started. So this is obviously building your six-figure business. So the first thing I want you to really ask yourself in this whole process, and I know that this kind of sounds cliche, but I feel like the more your business grows, you really need to stay connected to your why. And the reason why I say that is because it's really, really easy. The more you expand, the more people learn about you, the more you put yourself out there, for you to get detached from the very thing that made you start your business in the first place. In addition to that, a lot of times you see companies that start out with their vision and their mission and their why very intact. And then at some point they get offered some crazy amount of money, right? Because they're very successful and they're moving forward and people see that they have an innovative idea or maybe even something that's an industry changing idea. And I'm going to caution you that as you are building your business, you really want to stay in touch with your personal why, but always ask yourself, am I willing to sell myself to another business or another person who's developing businesses? Because their reason for wanting to buy you may be one of two reasons. Either A, they see that you're booming in the business and they really want to help you to continue to move forward, or B, they want to silence you. So after I read this slide, I'm going to show you an example of this that I have experienced in my own company before I even got anywhere near what I am right now. Okay, so you want to ask yourself, what's your why? Every great business starts with a powerful why, and that why makes you show up even when everything inside of you wants to stay home, stay in your bed, do absolutely nothing for the day, figure out a way to not do what you said you were going to do. Like, your why is what keeps you tapped in. And every powerful why is backed by usually a life experience, a conviction, or a need that you realize has not been fulfilled, and you decide to be the change that is needed to improve that current condition in your life or in the life of others. And that why is also the secret sauce of your business and what makes your business move forward. So throughout this time while we're talking, I want you to take a minute to think about what your personal why is for starting your business. And then how does your why or your current business intersect with the why of your, for me, it's my Yoni business, but how does it intersect with what you are doing? I know that Shay has, purchased the Yoni steaming, course or whatever. So this will work for you, sis. Like, why do you want to combine, or what about the why of your regular, everyday business connects with the why of your Yoni steaming business, for example, that makes you see the vision for moving forward? Now, when I first started my business, the first brick and mortar location that I got into, or first online platform for a brick and mortar location, was Walmart. And I was doing very well on Walmart. My sales were going crazy. The community was purchasing. It was blowing up. And next thing I know, I got an email from a company. And they were like, hi, we're very interested in your product. We wanted to know if you would be interested in, us purchasing your product line. Or they put it in a way of like investing in your product line to help you move your business forward. But the thing about it was they wanted me to allow them to buy into my company, but then they would have a certain amount of control. Now, ideally, obviously a lot of people build businesses because they want to have that like $1 million offer. They want to move their business forward in a major way. But for me, my why was very important. I am on a mission, and at that time was on a mission and still am on a mission to help women heal their wounds naturally, where they don't have to go to hysterectomy or myomectomy or some crazy intrusive procedure in order to heal their womb. So for me, when the company came and offered to purchase my company and then have some semi control of it, it felt very out of touch with what I wanted to do, because I knew that in that fine line was going to be the idea that they can either silence me or take control over what I wanted to see happen with my company, and therefore pretty much kind of like buy me and then stunt my growth of how much I can be, especially if they are like, especially if you're in the industry where you're doing herbs or herbal healing or natural healing or anything like that. And then you have a big pharma company who comes, or a major corporation that comes and tries to buy you. Most of the time that is a way for them to try to stunt how much of the industry you take over if they see that you're moving. So the point of all of that and what I'm saying is just to remember your why and really ask yourself, how does my why stay true in everything that I do inside of my business as I am focusing on expansion? Okay, and so the next thing that I want you to focus on is your business mission. And every intention-based business is fueled by their why and is guided by their mission statement, which serves as a compass that directs their business success. Your business's mission statement should be a clear set of overall outcomes that you would like to create through the operation of your business to enhance your life and the life of others. So, what is your current business mission statement, and what is the mission statement of, for me, my Yoni statement business? So for me, when I created, I have the product line and I have the Yoni steaming like courses and things like that, and then I have other things that I'm working on as well. I have to ask myself through all of that. I know very clearly what my why is to impact the health of women, one Yoni steam or one herbal product at a time, where it is not using intrusive procedures. And then I have to find, what is my mission and how does that align with my why? Now, in business, a lot of people set goals, especially with it being a new year. Okay. And I don't want you to fall into this trap. A lot of people set goals and they don't set outcomes. Now, setting goals versus outcomes means that you set a sturdy foundation versus a non-sturdy foundation. When most people think about achieving their milestones in their business, they automatically think about the goals that they want to set. But every highly successful business is built on business outcomes and not goals. Goals simply list things that you would like to accomplish. Outcomes takes the goal that you listed and turns it into an actionable set of steps that you use to reach a desired destination in your business. So as a business owner, it is essential that you are clear on the direction that you desire to travel with your business. Otherwise, you will find yourself spending hours planning and strategizing about your business's success with a planner full of tasks, but no idea of how to make those tasks reach the desired outcome. So after you have created your list of desired outcomes for your business, it's time to build the systems that you're going to use to create that success inside of the business that you desire. So at this moment, I want you to take the next 2 to 3 minutes and I want you to write down, what are some business outcomes that you want to see? When we think about outcome, okay, a goal would be, I want to gain 1,000 new business entrepreneurs in my Yoni Steaming certification course, for example, for me, right? That's my goal. The outcome is, I want to get 100 new or 1,000 new student enrollments by means of blah, blah, blah. So I have to say what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm going to post on my social, these are examples that I'm coming up with. I'm going to post on my social media channels 2 to 3 times a day. I'm going to reach out to people who show interest in the course 2-3 months ago, reach back around to them and make sure that I do customer follow-up, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I'm going to market on Facebook ads, for 6 weeks straight with a specific marketing plan, strategy plan. I want you to come up with 2 to 3 outcomes that you desire to see in 2024. So they can be goals. Okay, they're going to be listed like goals, but we're going to work into making them outcomes by putting into those steps things that you can do that are actions to reach that. Take these next 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to put on some meditation music, and I want you to write 2 to 3 goals that you desire to see in your business move forward. And then the next step is we're going to create the action plans for those steps to see your business expand. So think deep. Think beyond what you've always put into your notebook, okay? Think beyond the things that you
say it again. I have a question, because it's not about the goals. So I've been working on this. I actually have been messaging you on Facebook. I don't know if you correlated my name or face or anything. I'm the one that lost a job recently.
Yeah, Chelsea. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I've been like working on this because I've been listening to our different sisters, about creating plans. But the question I have is like about the mission statement, because so I had a question, like how do you develop the mission statement if you're like a herbalist and you know that you have to be careful of wording. So for instance, like you can't say healing using herbs, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like wouldn't that create chaos?
So you can use words like transformation. You can use words like optimal health. So instead of saying my mission is to heal customers one Yoni steam at a time, my mission is to impact the health of my customers. Impact. So instead of saying heal, say impact. Instead of saying, to help them, I'm going to help them heal so that they can be in good health. My thing is I'm going to help them reach optimal health. So I help them. Another thing that you can do is you can list your mission statement in a way that you talk about aiding them in their healing process, which means, which the underlying meaning is, I'm not healing you, but I am one of the many things that you can do on your path of healing. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you can refer to the healing path itself, not necessarily your service as healing, but you're one of the things that they can do on their healing journey.
But so what about right? One of like my things that I offer, like as myself, is like, yeah, I'm an herbalist, but I'm also like a health advocate, like maternal health advocate, and just normal. I have mentored women because I've had cancer. So I've mentored people like after, I'm like, hey, this is how you maneuver and word things for the doctor to know that like how to move about your healing with a doctor or whatever. Like, how would you consider that? Just because I was just gonna say like part of teaching is advocacy.
Yeah, well, I would say that I'm an advocate. So this is the thing. When you mention yourself as an advocate, that means that you're going to be using some of the language that doctors use in order to relate to them directly. So for you specifically, I would separate my herbal practice using the herbs, selling the herbs, from my advocacy. I would sell them as 2 different packages. So if a person wants herbs, they want me to formulate things for them, that's one thing. But if they want me to be an advocate for them, I'm using a different kind of language because I'm dealing with the doctor, the nurse, the healing, whatever team they have directly. So I'm going to use the words that relates to that field. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I would navigate that. I would separate it out. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so we're going to take the next 2 minutes. We're going to write down 2 or 3 goals that we want to see in our business. And then we're going to work on making those into outcome, making some outcomes that we want to see from those goals. Okay, so does somebody want to share one of the goals that they may have put down that they want to see and turn into an outcome in their business?
A goal for me is like to help my confidence for my business is to like research an herb a day, which also can be used like for my other goal of posting on Instagram. Okay, so I'm gonna post about that one herb, which means that then I'm being active with followers or whoever and showing that, hey, like I do these lectures, you know. So a lot of my goals tie into each other in the outcome. So like when I'm doing one outcome, it's tying into the confidence and networking outside and being comfortable with who I am. Another goal was like funding, because I was terrible when I started my business. I used like my own money rather than looking for grants and scholarships and stuff. I was using my own money. And now that I have lost my job, like I don't have that option. And I probably shouldn't be doing that anyways, because I have read somewhere like America's the land of the free. And so they were like, oh, like meaning there's a lot of grants and scholarships for stuff that you want to do.
There is a lot of grants and scholarships, but that is also a very much cutthroat aspect of business as well, and it takes a lot of time. So grants and funding is something that takes a lot of time, but I wouldn't necessarily say insert it at the base level of your business. I would say insert it because a lot of the grants and things are going to want you to have your ideas already mapped out, and they want to start to see that you have already started to produce for yourself, and you're not necessarily trying to just use their money. Even if they are a startup grant, they want to see that you've already started to do the legwork for their grant to be put into work, not that you're going to get it and then put it into something else. So what I want to say though is I think it's going to be, positive for you to kind of hit yourself to the back of me in whatever ways that you can. because I'm going to like really help you to navigate the bullying and try to help you to bolster yourself up in the business aspect so that you don't have the fear. I did see that Shay said that was one of the things for her as well, is the fear aspect. And I understand, because it's new, it's a new territory. It's something that you're trying to learn how to do. Is out of your comfort zone. It's and comfort zones are there for a reason, to keep us safe. You know what I mean? So but when we step out of those, that's where real expansion comes. So I love your ideas. And so what I want both of you to do is to take, or love your goals. What I want you to do is to map out 2 or 3 actions that you can do that is going to allow you to move each of those goals forward. So, for example, you said that you have already gotten into counseling in order to work on the fear and the confidence aspect. That's one way. What's something else that you could do? Maybe you could look into sister kind of coaching programs that are not funding based. Like I have the business mastermind, right? And even though it's for birth workers, even though you're not necessarily going to be a doula, we're still talking about fundamentals of business. So you might want to get into the mastermind. It's free. It's something where people come together as a collective and you build on each other's energy, and it's all meant to be helpful resources for people who are starting out businesses. So I feel like that's something that you can look for, more of those kind of resources that are available to you, that are free, that you can be able to utilize. And then a lot of states have help. Like here in Philly, they have the Enterprise Center. I'm not sure what it would be called in each of your states, but there might be like another kind of grant funding type hub that is already paid by the government to provide free resources and classes to you, to bolster up your experience and your knowledge that you don't have to pay for. So those are just some suggestions that I have moving forward. And I think that, you and I can talk a little bit more if you want to when we get off of here. We can schedule another time to talk this week, where we can like build certain aspects and kind of give you a better idea of how to move on each of those goals. But for right now, just so we can, like, in the respect of time, to put down 2 or 3 action plans that you will do for each of the things that are on your list in order to help you move forward. And then when we come back for both of you individually, we will sit down and we will talk about how to move those steps forward. Okay? All right. Amazing. So obviously every business, right, in the midst of building, and I will send you the slideshow so y'all don't have to worry about trying to take all the notes down of what I'm saying. But in the midst of building your business and the foundation, every great business also has a business plan. Now, the business plan, when you get into grant funding and scholarships and things like that, it's going to be needed. But for right now, if you're not getting into that phase, like, and you just are trying to figure out the focus of your business, you want to do that by building a business plan. And it could be a lightweight one. It does not have to be 10, 15, 20 pages, but one that just kind of puts your ideas down on paper. Because a lot of times something that we do, or people do, is they have all of these ideas in their head, and it's kind of hard to put them down on paper and to actually map out how to go from there. So they get stuck with analysis paralysis, and they don't move forward in what they would like to do in their business. So you want to get into the habit of writing your thoughts down and your visions for what you want to create inside of your business. And so, your business plan. So your business plan is a roadmap that guides the development and expansion of your business over time. In my experience, the business plan becomes more essential the older your business gets. As your business grows in age, you may experience areas where your business plan changes, while your why and your mission remains the same. So the business plan should include the following aspects: your executive statement, which is basically the mission statement and what you have to offer to the world and to your potential customers. The second thing is your business description. You want to describe your product or service that you are offering and what your ideal customer looks like. Include any business history and experience that you feel that you have that are essential in you running your business. What is your customer's age? Where does your customer live? How much do they make a year? Where do they shop? Where do they go on social media? What do they do with their pastime? Do they have children? Are they single? These are all things that are very important for you to know about your potential customer in order for you to meet them where they are with your marketing and with your advertising of different things that your business offers. Okay. Then that moves us into our marketing analysis. Who is your competition and what price point are you going to charge for your product or your service? The next thing that we're going to move into, our fourth thing, is our company organization. How will you be legally formed? Who are your company's owners? And if it's just you that's owning your company, how do you foresee in the future if you were in need of expansion, right? So I talked about how and we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth, but I talked about earlier about how I got into Walmart. In the beginning, when I planted my business, baby, I had 7 packs of herbs, and they were things that I had used to heal myself, and I started selling that. Since then, I have advanced my product line into over 100 herbal products and product lines that people can use in order to heal or to help themselves get into a better place. So I'm using the word heal with us, but in normal, outside life, we wouldn't use the word heal with herbs. But I'm just saying these are things that they can use in their day-to-day life to reach a place of better health and optimal health. Okay. The fifth thing that you want to think about is your products and your services that you offer. And this will most likely look like the packages that you offer or the product or service that you are giving. So for example, if you're a doula and you're combining it with your nursing knowledge, it might be that you do a startup consultation when a mom first comes home from postpartum, and you help her to identify what aspects of her health she may be able to improve using blah, blah, blah. Or if you're using herbs, it may look like I offer, and you want to do lectures and courses, I offer this particular herbal course or this particular herbal knowledge, and you can get it for blah, blah, blah. Like create packages that goes along with what you offer as a product or service. And then your financial projections. What is your desired annual income? And this is where we start getting into the nitty gritty of business. Like everybody has this idea of what they want to make. Everybody has this idea where they see their business going, but they don't know like the steps that you should take to get to that. And so we're going to cover that towards the end. How will you achieve this outcome? And this also includes your cash projections for the year. So I can foresee my business reaching $100,000 this year. How is that going to happen? What are the things I'm going to implement inside of my business in order for the $100,000 to be created? What is your current cash flow statements and other financial documents that will give a full overview of your company's financial health if you are already operating? And I know that She, you said that you are in the business, in the process of building everything from scratch, and you kind of need to have a little bit more ideas of, or understanding about it. And so we'll dive into the financial projection section deep as well, because that is a very important aspect in order for you not to get caught up with certain things later on as you are developing your business. So this is your business plan, an overview of your business plan. And so there are 5 keys to building a 6-figure business that I feel like a lot of people don't focus on, but they need to be. The first thing is that you want to start your business from the very beginning with at least one staff member. And the reason why I say this, and this could be this position, and let me start out by saying this position is going to be different for everybody. For some people, this may be a virtual assistant. For some people, this may be a person like for Chelsea, it may be that you are training a sister or a cousin or another person that you're going to eventually hire to learn certain ways that you do your packaging and your product presentation so that they can be able to learn the ins and outs of your business from the very beginning. And the reason why this is so freaking important is because it's going to determine whether you can expand later on in the future sufficiently. The second thing that you want to do, and the second key, is to save 20% of every sale you make to pay yourself. Your business's money is not all of your money, meaning everything your business makes does not automatically go into your wallet. You need to understand how to divide those funds up, and we're going to get into that more in detail as you move forward. The third key is to plan your year with the energy of the seasons. Be aware of what season you are in and how that affects the development of your business. Key number 4, what you do now will yield fruit for you in 8 to 12 weeks. And key number 5 is when you create your business, you have to create, or my suggestion is you create 2 key aspects. And this is something that everybody overlooks. Don't overlook it. I'm telling you, if I would have implemented this from the very beginning when I started my business, where I would be financially right now is much, much different than where, or the amount of time that it has taken me to get where I am right now. So when you create your business, you want to create 2 key aspects. The first thing is your product or your service, and the second thing is a residual income source. And that's extremely important. Okay, and so now let's go into key number 1. Key number 1, start your business with at least 1 staff member. Starting with 1 essential staff member will help you to train an individual from the very beginning on the fundamentals of your business and will allow you to duplicate yourself. Now, you may be thinking like, why the heck do I want to duplicate myself? Well, duplication is key in order for you to be able to expand in the future. So you, as a business owner, you don't want to build your business as the right now, like what you can see directly in front of you. The whole entire time that you are building your business, you want to be building it with a 5-year projection plan. And so this is something that we're going to jump into in February in our 1-hour intensive. But you want to have a 5-year projection plan. What do I mean by that? That means in year 5, where do I see myself being? And then work backwards. So year 4, what have I accomplished? Year 3, what have I accomplished? Year 2, what have I accomplished? Year 1, what have I accomplished? Those 4 years leading up to year 5 is going to, and when you accumulate all of it, create the year 5 person that you have become. So what you want to do is you want to create a 5-year projection of yourself. In 5 years, where do I see myself being? How much money am I making? Where am I living? What is my business doing? Where is my business based? Am I still here in the US? Have I traveled? Am I doing internships? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And from that 5th year, you're going to break down each of those main aspects of yourself personally and the main aspects of your business to create the plan of how you're going to break down those next 4 to 5 years till you reach that ideal person or ideal self. Having a fully trained staff member allows you to step away from the everyday task of running the business when expansion begins. And the reason, what I mean by this is, okay, let's say, for example, when I first started out, I started out with a very close friend of mine that I trained to be my executive administrative assistant, right? And in the very beginning, I too was at a place where I didn't really have a whole lot of money. I'm going to cover how you will do this if you can't afford it, but you want to bring that in. So now, after you have created this bond with the person, and now every week you're creating a plan of what you're teaching them. So you're teaching them, if you're doing a product-based business, you're teaching them the underlying aspects of how you run your business on a computer, how you package your products. If the person is near you, they're going to be a physical help to you. If they're virtual and they're far away, then they're going to be a virtual help to you. But the point is, you want to teach them that. Why? Because when it was time for me to start building courses, when it was time for me to start traveling to open up hubs, when it was time at franchise locations around the US, when it was time for me to start bringing on ambassadors and training them, that person that I started training from the very beginning became the other me that was able to keep the company moving sufficiently to the point where I could step away to expand other areas. But if you're the only person, and a lot of entrepreneurs start here because they're like, I can't afford it, I don't have the money or whatever. I'm going to get into that in a second. But what I want to say is where there's a will, there's a way. So you want to create that relationship with a person so that when the expansion comes, you don't have to slow down. You don't have to, okay, imagine the opportunity for Walmart came for me, right? But I didn't start to train at that time how to run my business or how to help me to, keep things moving. When it came time for me to package those orders, or when I onboarded another hub owner, another franchise owner into my company, when it came time for me to oversee that and go to that location, if I didn't have a person online, I would have never been able to do that. I would have had to pause the main business that I was doing in order to be able to go and travel to take care of that hub owner that was starting in another location. And then when I came back, I would have been trying to restart the business again. So I hope that makes sense. But having a person that's duplicated as you allows you to expand. Now, as I said, this position will not be the same for every person. And for me, it was a virtual assistant. I needed more the virtual assistance of every day keeping up with orders, making sure that meetings were together, making sure that the calendar was on point, making sure that meetings that I was having was organized, just making sure the business basics were taken care of, because then I can oversee the physical things that I needed to do here at the home base here in Philly. Now, the answer to that is there are a lot of community colleges and agencies that have students that need to work for you in order to complete their internship. For example, I was laying in my bed the other day, and my spiritual community knows that I run a business. I got a phone call from a young girl in my community that was like, hey, or her mother that was like, hey, Hadida, so-and-so needs to be able to have a certain amount of community service hours in order for her to be able to do her freshman year of college, whatever she needs. Do you mind if she comes and works for your company in exchange for her community service? There are countless students who are in the fields of what you are trying to do. I don't care what your business is, that needs the community service hours to go onto their course completion or in order for them to graduate or to move to the next level, especially in college, because you want to or senior high school students or higher, right? But they need those community service hours in order for them to be able to move on and graduate. Same thing, like when my mom was going for her master's, she had to do a practicum, and where she had to go into the classroom, find a teacher that will allow her to come into the classroom and shadow that teacher for X amount of time and be able to produce lessons and be able to do things with students. So my point is, every university and college has students that needs to complete a certain amount of in-field hands-on work in order for them to graduate. And the way that you as a business owner can get help without paying for it is to make sure that your business is legally set up, LLC wise and things like that. We get your fundamentals down as far as your business plan and your projection of where you want to go. And then we start to create the systems inside of your company that you're actually going to be training that person to do, so that they're taking care of that aspect while you're working on expansion. Does that make sense? And if y'all need help with this afterwards, obviously we can touch on this, y'all reach out to me. And so it's a really big key that a lot of entrepreneurs don't know about and they don't utilize. So trust me, there's millions of people who are looking for it. Think about how I want to say like 75% of all students do work study. They do work study. So they work for the college or the university in order to accrue a certain number. It's the same program, just for entrepreneurs. Okay. And so I can help you to find some of those locations and places that might be doing it.